Hey friend, welcome to Season 2 of the Workforce Link podcast, where we're offering forward-thinking conversations for the workforce, linking employers and job seekers to a brighter tomorrow. I am so glad you're back, so glad to be hosting Season 2 of this podcast. I'm your host, Sunday Jo Graham with the Central Workforce Development Region, and we're going to have some fun together. Hope that you enjoyed Season 1, and I hope to bring you just as much information, some laughter, some entertainment along the way in this season. If you enjoyed last season and haven't done so yet, don't forget to head over to iTunes and leave a review for us. You spreading the love helps us spread the love. So, today's episode, to kick off Season 2 of the Workforce Link, we're going to talk about mistakes. Yep, we're going to talk actually specifically about 6 mistakes. So you want your resume to impress the employer reading it, right? Of course. Making a good first impression on paper is important, but you might be surprised to learn how many job seekers look past the errors that they make on their resume. If you don't want your resume to just be scanned and tossed to the side, it's so important for you to avoid these resume mistakes. Okay, so we're going to dig in and we're going to talk about 6 specific resume mistakes that you need to avoid. Number 1, your resume is poorly organized. Here's the thing, if your resume is cluttered and it's busy, guess what? That's going to leave a bad impression on the employer. It's going to make them think that you might just be scattered and unorganized on the job, right? And if one of the job requirements is organization, but your resume is scattered, that's a big red flag, right? That's a big check mark against you already. And the employer is likely to toss your resume to the side and not think another minute about it. So remember this, avoid the busyness on your resume, okay? Number 2, giving too much information. You want the employer to know you, yes, but they can know too much at first, okay? They can know too much at first. When you include too much information, that tells the employer that you're not concise and you can't get to the point. We live in a world today where we just have to get to the point, right? Our attention spans are shorter than they ever have been. We have to be able to get to the point and be clear. This is important too, especially for applicant tracking systems that read your resume before they ever get to the employer or the hiring manager. If it's too long, the system might not read it at all. It might not recognize it and kick it out, and you don't ever get a shot of moving past that. Okay, so remember this. Get to the point. All right, number 3. This is a big one. Lying on your resume. Okay, my friend, here's the rule. Don't do it, okay? Don't put incorrect or false information on your resume. It will eventually come back to bite you, okay? It will. I was watching an episode the other day of The King of Queens the other night. Yeah, it was the other night, and Jerry Stiller's character, who's Arthur Spooner, he was working on his resume, and he came upstairs and he asked his daughter Carrie, who's played by Leah Remini, to check his spelling. And so she did more than that. She did more than check his spelling. He had stated that he had experience in neurology and just all kinds of fluff on his resume. He ended up getting hired as a pretzel maker in the mall. Of course he didn't have any experience in neurology. The guy didn't even have a college degree, but he put it on there as if people weren't going to pay attention to it. Now, I know that that's a far-fetched example, okay, but you get the point, okay? I'm sure you're probably not going to put neurology on your resume, but here's the thing. For instance, if you don't have experience in Excel, don't put that you have experience in Excel, because what are you going to do when the employer asks you to make a spreadsheet? You're going to have to spend hours on YouTube, right? Trying to figure out what in the world you're doing. Or you're going to have to pay somebody else to do your homework, right? Like you did in school, or, maybe never did. Seriously though, it's going to catch up with you, okay? Be honest. Be honest. Okay, before we dive into the other 3 resume mistakes to avoid, I want to interrupt for a quick second to tell you about something really amazing that's happening in the Central Region of Missouri right now. I want to talk about apprenticeships. In what some have called a dying industry, the Missouri Office of Apprenticeship and Work-Based Learning says differently. The Central Workforce Development Region is excited to partner with the Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development to offer Missouri Apprentice Connect, providing hundreds of opportunities in Central Missouri for a variety of apprenticeship opportunities. So what in the world is an apprenticeship, you might be asking? Well, it's an industry-driven, high-quality career pathway in which workers can obtain paid work experience, classroom instructions, and a transferable credential while job creators develop and prepare their future workforce. They offer flexible training model that can be customized to meet the needs of every business and industry. They're a viable tool for the state to use to give to Missourians the necessary skills to succeed. It's an affordable approach to training and education for the employer and the job seeker. It's an opportunity to earn a paycheck while learning from day one, reducing the potential to take on student debt. Get this. Workers who complete apprenticeship programs earn an average of $300,000 more over their career when compared to peers who don't. $300,000 more. 94% of apprentices retain employment after completing an apprenticeship program. So if you are a training provider or an employer who wants to invest in this exciting opportunity, now is the time. If you are looking for a bridge between school and a profitable career, maybe an apprenticeship is the answer for you. So take the next step today and learn more at cwdregion.com/moappconnect. That's cwdregion.com/moappconnect. And now, let's get back to the 6 resume mistakes that you must stop making today. All right, number 4. You send the same resume for every job you apply for. 2 words. Stop it. In case I haven't told you yet, stop it. Make sure that your resume is targeted specifically for that job, okay? We talked about this in episode 3 in the first season, Understanding Soft Skills, and we talked about it in episode 6, Understanding Hard Skills. You're not going to put every soft and hard skill on your resume. You're going to put those specific skills that you have that are relevant to the job you're applying for. You know, you may have your CDL license, but if the job you're applying for is for janitorial services, make sure you're focusing on those skills, unless, of course, they say they need a CDL driver for that. If you're applying for a management position, talk about your skills in that area, not the fact that you used a cash register in high school, okay? They want to know what kind of leadership you have to offer. Be specific about your skills and make sure that they're relevant to the job you're applying for. And I will also share the links to episode 3 and 6 from season 1 in the show notes for you as well. So remember this, be unique, okay? Number 5, using an inappropriate email address. This one, man, gets me every time. I can just about promise you that this will keep the employer or the hiring manager from even looking at your resume. It's completely unprofessional, and hey, while it might seem cute and funny at the time, I can guarantee you this. It's going to keep you from moving forward. Maybe not today, but it definitely will later. Clean up your email address. Keep it simple, I'm telling you. If you want to make a separate email address for just job seeking purposes, hey, that's great. Do that. Use some variation with your name in it that keeps it simple, okay? Simple and straight to the point and clean, okay? Now, I don't hire anymore in the position that I'm in, but I used to. And when I would see an email come across that was inappropriate, guess what? I didn't look any further. Why? Because if that person can't be professional while applying for a job, can I trust that they will be professional representing my company? The employer needs to trust that you are representing them well, that you're going to represent them well. And believe it or not, it goes all the way back to your email address. So remember this, be professional. Okay, last but not least, number 6, not proofreading your resume. Typos, bad grammar, misspelled words, guess what? Spells out a very clear picture, pun intended. It shows the employer or the hiring manager that you don't pay attention to the details. Don't just use the Microsoft Word spell checker, okay? Check it yourself because everything makes mistakes, right? And then send it to a friend. Have them read it over as well. Ask them to take a look at it for you. I've actually made this mistake myself, and it's super embarrassing to see that you did it later. And guess what? I didn't get a call back from that job either. Choose words carefully and catch your mistakes. Because if the employer has to do it, guess what? Your chances of moving forward are slim. So remember this, proofread. So let's do a quick recap of the 6 resume mistakes you must stop making today. Number 1, poorly organizing your resume. Remember, avoid the busyness. Number 2, giving too much information. Get to the point. Number 3, lying on your resume. Remember, be honest. Number 4, sending the same resume for every job you apply for. Remember to be unique. Number 5, using an inappropriate email address. Remember to be professional. And number 6, not proofreading. Remember, proofread, then proofread again. Take your time, my friend, to make your resume highlight the best version of you. Update it when necessary. Make it compelling. Make it concise. And for the love of all things job seeking, make it error-free. All right? Now, go out and get that job. If you need assistance sprucing up your resume, guess what? We have 8 different Central Region Job Centers available to help you with that and all of your employment-related needs. Whether you're in Rolla, Jefferson City, Lebanon, Lake of the Ozarks, or somewhere else, we have an excited staff ready to assist you. You can find your closest job center location today at cwdregion.com/job centers. That's cwdregion.com/job centers. I hope this episode was helpful for you today, and if so, make sure you share with others. And if you haven't already, don't forget to leave us a review, preferably 5-star. Have a great week, my friend, and we will meet again in the next episode. Until then, remember this: there's always a brighter tomorrow if you're willing to find it. The Central Region Workforce Development Board Incorporated and COPIC are equal opportunity employers and programs. Auxiliary aids and services are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Missouri Relay Services at 711.